Take a slow breath before you listen, because this message is not meant to rush your heart, but to gently prepare it. Archangel Michael speaks not in chaos, but in clarity, and today his presence feels calm, steady, and purposeful. This message did not come to create pressure or confusion, but to bring awareness to something that has been quietly forming around your life for some time now. Even if you were not expecting this, even if love feels distant or complicated, this moment arrived because your soul is ready to hear it. There is a connection around you that has not been random. It has grown silently, without announcements, without dramatic signs, and without forcing its way into your life. Someone has been thinking about you with seriousness, not curiosity, not temporary emotion, but with intention. This is not about obsession or fantasy. It is about respect, responsibility, and a desire for something lasting. That is why this message comes calmly, not loudly, because real intentions do not need noise to exist. You may wonder why you did not notice it sooner. The truth is, not every important thing announces itself immediately. Some people observe quietly. They watch how you speak, how you treat others, how you carry your values, and how you remain grounded even when life tests you. What touched them was not perfection, but sincerity. Your consistency, your honesty, and your emotional depth made an impression that stayed longer than words. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this is not about rushing toward a decision. It is about becoming aware of what is already moving. When awareness comes before action, confusion loses its power. You are not being asked to say yes or no today. You are being asked to stay present, observant, and emotionally open without forcing expectations. Love that arrives with peace does not demand instant answers. The idea that the name may surprise you does not mean shock or drama. It means recognition. Sometimes the people who value us most are closer than we think, but we overlook them because we assume meaningful things must come from far away or arrive with grand gestures. This message gently challenges that assumption. Look at your life with fresh eyes. Notice who shows consistency. Notice who respects your boundaries. Notice who listens without trying to change you. This message is also a reminder to release fear built from past experiences. What did not work before does not define what is possible now. Growth changes how connections form. Healing changes what you attract. If you have done the inner work, even silently, the energy around you has already shifted. That is why this message appears now and not earlier. Timing follows readiness. Archangel Michael's guidance here is simple but powerful. Remain calm, remain grounded, and do not rush to label anything. Let understanding arrive before conclusions. When something is meant to be solid, it does not need urgency to survive. It unfolds naturally, step by step, with clarity rather than confusion. There are moments in life when clarity does not arrive as a sudden answer, but as a quiet realization. Archangel Michael speaks now not to alarm you, but to help you recognize what has already been forming beneath the surface of your everyday life. This message continues. Because understanding does not come in fragments, it unfolds gently when the heart is ready to receive it. What surrounds you at this moment is not coincidence, and it is not imagination. It is alignment. You may have noticed changes within yourself recently. Your thoughts have become deeper. Your tolerance for shallow connections has faded. You no longer seek attention, but meaning. This inner shift did not go unnoticed. Someone observed this change, not from curiosity, but from admiration. They saw your growth before you spoke about it. They respected your silence, your boundaries, and the way you stayed grounded even when life demanded patience from you. This person did not approach impulsively. Their intention formed slowly, with reflection and seriousness. They asked themselves questions before allowing their feelings to deepen. They considered responsibility, timing, and emotional maturity. This is why Archangel Michael emphasizes awareness rather than excitement. What is approaching you is not built on impulse, but on conscious choice. The reason the name may surprise you is not because it is shocking, but because it challenges an assumption you once held. You may have categorized this person as just someone familiar or not possible. Sometimes the heart dismisses what feels too steady because it expects intensity to look dramatic. Yet real commitment rarely arrives loudly. It arrives consistently. Look back carefully at the interactions you have had recently. Notice who remained present even when nothing was demanded of them. Notice who respected your pace instead of pushing their own. Notice who spoke honestly without trying to impress you. These are not random behaviors. They are signs of someone who values depth over display. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this connection is not meant to replace your independence. It is meant to complement it. You are not being asked to lose yourself. You are being invited to be seen fully, without masks, without pressure, and without rushing toward a label. The foundation of this intention is stability, not urgency. It is also important to release the fear that comes from past disappointments. What once ended taught you discernment, not failure. You learned when to speak, when to step back, and when to protect your emotional space. That wisdom has shaped the kind of connection that can now approach you safely. This is not history repeating itself, this is growth being acknowledged. The timing of this message matters because awareness changes how situations unfold. When you recognize something early, you move with clarity instead of confusion. You respond instead of reacting. Archangel Michael's guidance is not to confront or question anyone immediately, but to observe with calm awareness. Truth reveals itself naturally when it is not forced. As this message continues, you may feel a sense of quiet confirmation rather than excitement. That is intentional. Peace is the indicator here. When something aligns with your highest good, it does not disturb your inner balance. It strengthens it. Pay attention to what feels steady rather than what feels intense. This is not the end of the message. It is the deepening of it. What comes next is understanding, recognition, and the moment when clarity becomes undeniable. Stay present. Stay grounded. What is meant to be revealed will do so without confusion. As this message moves deeper, Archangel Michael invites you to step away from noise and into awareness. Not the awareness that creates questions, but the awareness that brings recognition. There is a difference. Questions seek answers outside of you. Recognition happens quietly within. This part of the message is about helping you recognize what your soul has already sensed, even if your mind tried to dismiss it. You may have felt moments recently where a certain presence lingered in your thoughts without effort. Not obsession, not longing, but a gentle remembering. These moments appeared when you were calm, not when you were lonely. That distinction matters. When something returns to your awareness during peace, it is not coming from need. It is coming from alignment. This person has been moving carefully, not because of hesitation, but because they respect the weight of intention. They understand that commitment is not declared through words alone. It is revealed through consistency, patience, and emotional maturity. They noticed how you respond when things are uncertain. They noticed how you carry yourself when no one is watching. These observations shaped their decision far more than surface attraction ever could. Archangel Michael emphasizes that what is forming is not based on fantasy or expectation. It is grounded in reality. That is why it feels different from past connections. There is no rush to impress. No urge to control outcomes. Just a steady presence that does not drain you, but instead makes space for you to be fully yourself. This is how genuine intentions appear when they are not driven by insecurity. You may also notice that your reactions around this person are calmer than usual. You do not feel the need to perform or explain yourself excessively. Silence does not feel uncomfortable. Conversations feel natural, even when they are simple. These are signs that your nervous system recognizes safety. The heart does not. Happens quietly within. This part of the message is about helping you recognize what your soul has already sensed, even if your mind tried to dismiss it. You may have felt moments recently where a certain presence lingered in your thoughts without effort. Not obsession, not longing, but a gentle remembering. These moments appeared when you were calm, not when you were lonely. That distinction matters. When something returns to your awareness during peace, it is not coming from need. It is coming from alignment. This person has been moving carefully, not because of hesitation, but because they respect the weight of intention. They understand that commitment is not declared through words alone. It is revealed through consistency, patience, and emotional maturity. They noticed how you respond when things are uncertain. They noticed how you carry yourself when no one is watching. These observations shaped their decision far more than surface attraction ever could. Archangel Michael emphasizes that what is forming is not based on fantasy or expectation. It is grounded in reality. That is why it feels different from past connections. There is no rush to impress. No urge to control outcomes. Just a steady presence that does not drain you, but instead makes space for you to be fully yourself. This is how genuine intentions appear when they are not driven by insecurity. You may also notice that your reactions around this person are calmer than usual. You do not feel the need to perform or explain yourself excessively. Silence does not feel uncomfortable. Conversations feel natural, even when they are simple. These are signs that your nervous system recognizes safety. The heart does not open in chaos. It opens where it feels understood. This message is not asking you to jump to conclusions. It is asking you to trust subtle clarity. Sometimes the most important realizations do not arrive with dramatic signs. They arrive through repeated peace, through emotional steadiness, through the absence of confusion. Archangel Michael reminds you that clarity often whispers, while distraction shouts. There is also something important to understand about timing. This intention did not arise randomly. It aligned with a season where you learned self-respect, patience, and emotional boundaries. You no longer accept half-effort or unclear energy. That growth filtered who could approach you seriously. Only someone willing to meet you at this level could remain present without retreating. If doubts surface, observe them without judgment. Doubt is often the mind adjusting to a healthier pattern than it is used to. Not everything unfamiliar is unsafe. Sometimes unfamiliar simply means better. Archangel Michael's guidance here is to stay open, not exposed. Aware, not anxious. Present, not pressured. What matters now is how you move internally. Not what you say. Not what you ask. But how you listen. Pay attention to how your energy responds when this person is near, even in thought. Does it tighten or soften? Does it feel heavy or balanced? Your body often understands alignment before the mind labels it. This part of the message prepares you for what comes next. Recognition will soon turn into clarity. The moment where understanding becomes undeniable is approaching, but it will not arrive with urgency. It will arrive with certainty. And when it does, you will not need external confirmation. You will simply know. Remain calm. Remain grounded. Remain observant. The unfolding is still in motion. As this message reaches its final movement, Archangel Michael invites you into stillness rather than anticipation. Not the stillness that waits for something to happen, but the stillness that understands something is already unfolding. There is a quiet difference between waiting and allowing, and this moment belongs to allowing. When clarity arrives, it does not rush the heart. It settles into it. The intention surrounding you has matured quietly, without announcements or dramatic gestures. That is why it may have taken time to recognize. What grows with care often does not demand attention. It simply remains consistent. This person's intention has been shaped by observation, patience, and respect for timing. They did not approach impulsively because they wanted certainty, not excitement. They wanted alignment, not intensity. Archangel Michael emphasizes that real commitment forms when two people are no longer trying to fill gaps within themselves. It forms when both have learned to stand steadily on their own. You have reached that place. The lessons that once felt repetitive were preparing you for discernment, not delay. You were not being held back, you were being refined. You may now notice a shift in how you perceive connection. What once felt attractive may now feel draining. What once felt uncertain may now feel peaceful. This is not coincidence. It is growth. When the heart learns discernment, it no longer confuses emotional noise with meaning. It begins to recognize stability as intimacy. This person has seen your strength not only in what you achieved, but in what you released. They noticed how you chose self-respect over convenience, how you allowed certain Doors to close without forcing them open again. That awareness changed how they approached you. When someone understands the cost of your growth, they approach with care. Archangel Michael shares that recognition does not always come with a name first. Sometimes it comes as a feeling of calm certainty that returns again and again. A sense of familiarity without history. A trust that does not require reassurance. These are not signs to act impulsively. They are signs to remain present and attentive. What unfolds next will feel natural, not staged. Conversations will deepen without pressure. Understanding will increase without explanation. The connection will not demand proof, it will demonstrate consistency. This is how alignment reveals itself when it is genuine. It is important now to remain grounded in your own rhythm. Do not rush your clarity to meet anyone else's timeline. What is meant for you will not be lost through patience. It will only be strengthened by it. Archangel Michael reminds you that divine alignment never asks you to abandon your inner peace in order to receive something good. As this message concludes, you are not being asked to believe blindly. You are being asked to notice honestly. Awareness is your guide now. Pay attention to how your energy responds, how your thoughts settle, how your emotions remain steady rather than scattered. These are confirmations that do not need external validation. What is forming will continue to reveal itself step by step. Not all at once. Not loudly. But clearly. When the moment arrives where understanding becomes undeniable, it will feel simple. Calm. Certain. And you will realize that nothing needed to be forced for it to reach you. Remain open. Remain patient. Remain grounded. This chapter is not ending, it is completing its preparation. Before you leave, take just a quiet moment and sit with what resonated for you. If this message brought clarity, calm, or recognition, stay connected. Messages like this reach you when your awareness is ready, not when you are searching. If you feel guided, continue listening, because the next message builds on this understanding and helps you recognize alignment even more clearly. Sometimes the next step is not action, it is deeper awareness. Stay present, stay open, and allow clarity to keep unfolding.